Actually, we have a proprietary blend of basic vitamins that helps assist the absorption of the Rhodiola Rosea product itself. So through that proprietary blend, we try to maximize the actives, the bioactives in the Rhodiola Rosea itself. There's 23 different strains of Rhodiola, and it's very specific, and that's an excellent question. We have to be specific. Rhodiola Rosea has the actives that make the difference, which is the rosivins and the solidicide levels. The genus species of Rhodiola Rosea provides the active ingredients. Rhodiola of different types does not have the active ingredients that assist in stress and inhibiting in stress, etc. They've been using Rhodiola Rosea for years. The Russians have used it for their cosmonauts for the space and the mental focus that is required. Further to that, the athletes have been using it for years, Rhodiola Rosea. It's actually been a Russian secret for quite some time. So now it's becoming more, now we're trying to bring that knowledge to the people in North America who we don't know about Rhodiola Rosea. And we're trying to give that awareness that the Russians know it's a good thing. Their athletes know it's a good thing, and it's a legal substance. We have to bring that level. But the question is true, that the Russians have been using it for years. To maintain the integrity of the product, we have to follow strict guidelines. One is that we can source and follow the root inventory that we're purchasing down to the field that it was grown by John Smith, the farmer, right up to the extraction into the bag. So all of the root that we purchase, we're able to track that. And from that, that gives a confidence to our consumer to say, no, we know what we're doing. That came from this field. If there's an issue with the product, we can track it all the way back to the certain farmer. So yes, all of it's all tracked. We are in the final stages. Currently, we have an exemption number. The EN number provides us the right to sell the product, and it's safe to all our consumers. The NPN number, which we're working on to get to the final stages, provide us the ability to market our claims that we currently have on the package. And that way we can further market and do a larger extensive marketing program. The root, Rhodiola Rosea, is grown primarily in the Alpines, in Russia, and in China. The Alberta government founded a new group, a growers organization called the Alberta Rhodiola Rosea Growers Organization. And they're growing rhodiola right here in Alberta. From that, we signed a contract with them to supply us with Rhodiola Rosea. So it's homegrown, right here in Alberta, Thorsby, and throughout Alberta. Do you know, it's funny, Rhodiola Rosea is grown in the Alpines. And the Alpines in Russia, the elevation is about the same in Alberta overall. So it's a cold weather plant, and it's tougher nails. It can grow anywhere. So the temperature in Alberta actually fits. And it's so durable, and even into a drought situations, the Rhodiola Rosea fits the growing climate. And the elevation here is perfect. So thus, it's an adaptogen. It's also very adapted to our climate. Okay. When the roots are extracted from the ground, they come out as a potato, as a potato, but it looks like your human brain really with the little tentacles coming out of it. Now you have moisture, a potato with moisture. So we have the rhodiola root there, and it's taken to the facility in Thorsby, Alberta. And from that, you need to wash the dirt, and you wash the dirt away, then you chop up the Rhodiola Rosea to smaller pieces, enhancing the opportunity to dry. Less surface area, you're able to dry it quicker. So from that, and it's washed, and it goes into a dryer, and it comes out the other day, and it looks like a potato chip. It's dried Rhodiola Rosea. Wet at this end at 70% moisture, less than 13% moisture on this side. And it goes into a potato sack. So that's what's done at Thorsby, Alberta. That's the collective area for all the rhodiola that's harvested for each fall. It goes in washed and cleaned. We understand there's some in Finland, I believe, is it Finland or Norway, that they're doing they're carrying out a small scale to what Alberta has taken it to another level. The availability of Rhodiola Rosea in the growing community, or where they're growing it at the ARRGO stations with all the farmers, is the #1, the largest supply of commercially grown rhodiola in the world right now. It takes 5 years to get to that level. Now what we're doing, working further on that, we have received an innovation grant from the Alberta government in regards to where we're taking higher plants that are showing a higher notice of rosin count, and we're blending them together to try to get a hybrid, a higher quality of plant. Two things that we're working on. One is to shorten up the growth cycle of getting it and creating a false creation of a yearly climate section, so we can get it into 3 years growth and get to the 5% level. So there's lots of work to do on that. I think that currently there's 2 customers because they're limited growth. As they're starting to grow, they're getting more Rhodiola Rosea available. I think initially, their initial purchase was one company in a row. It was probably around $1 million on the first flush. And as the second years go on, I can see it multiplying 2 to 4 times at time. It's probably $4 or $5 million in the next couple of years. And from that, and the #1 issue we have to do right now is to create the market. We have to create the demand for Rhodiola Rosea on a world stage on how good our rhodiola is. And that's why we're using the Rhodiola Rosea from Alberta for our Rhoziva product.